Tushar Govil and welcome to my YouTube channel Accessibility Talk. In today's video, we will talk about the tab index, which is a guide to accessible navigation. What is tab index? Tab index is an HTML attribute that defines the navigation order of the elements when using the tab key on the keyboard. It controls the sequence in which interactive elements, for example links, buttons, inputs, etc., receive focus. And it is a key to ensure that keyboard accessibility for users who do not rely on the mouse. Why tab index matters? Number one, accessibility. It is essential for users with disabilities, for example, users with a screen reader or users with motor impairments who cannot use mouse or who are rely on keyboard and the screen reader. Number two, user experience. Logical tab order improves navigation efficiency and compliance because it helps meeting the standards like WCAG, which is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. How tab index works? You can define some values to tab index attribute, which can be 0, -1, or in the positive, like 1, 2, and 3. So if tab index equal to 0 is defined, then element will be focusable in the default order. If you define a negative value to it, for example, tab index equal to -1, then element will not be focusable via tab, but still can be focused via the script, like JavaScript. Number three, if tab index has a positive value like 1 or higher, like 1, 2, or 3, then it sets a custom tab order for the element. Default behavior is browsers tab through elements in the DOM order unless overridden. So if there is no tab index parameter defined, then keyboard focus the DOM order to browse through the interactive elements. Examples. For example, in this example, we have taken a button and a link and a div, and button has tab index equal to 0. Link, which is defined by anchor tag, also has tab index equal to 0, and div has tab index equal to -1. So in this example, button and the link are focusable, div will be skipped because it has a tab index equal to negative value, while the button and the link which are having tab index equal to 0 will be focusable using tab key. Now we'll go through some best practices of tab index. Number one, avoid positive values. For example, tab index equal to 1, 2, or 3, unless necessary, because it can disrupt natural flow. How it can disrupt the natural flow, we will talk about in upcoming slides. Use tab index equal to 0 for custom elements. For example, the elements that you have defined with the div and that do not have the natural capability to be focusable. So you can use tab index equal to 0 for that. If you want to remove element from the tab order, like for example, when model is closed, you can use tab index equal to -1. And fourth, test with the keyboard navigation to ensure that the sequence is logical. Common mistakes to avoid: overusing positive values because it can disrupt the natural flow, leads to unpredictable navigation, so it's better to stick to the DOM order. Forgetting non-interactive elements, add it mx equal to 0 if they need focus, and skipping testing. So always test with the keyboard only and with keyboard plus screen readers turned on. Now we'll see how positive tab index values can disrupt the tab order. First, it overrides the DOM order. Elements with positive tab index values are focused first in ascending order like 1, 2, and 3, regardless of where they appear in the HTML page. After all positive tab index elements are navigated, focus moves to the natural DOM order, like elements with no tab index or tab index equal to 0. If positive values are assigned inconsistently, for example, skipping numbers or placing them out of visual sequence, the focus jumps unpredictably, confusing users. It can impact the screen reader users as well. Example, there are three buttons and an input box, button 3, 2, and 1, and an input box. Button 3 has a tab index equal to 1, button 2 has a tab index equal to 2, button 1 has no tab index defined, and input also has no tab index value defined. So what will happen in this case? Button 3 tab index equal to 1 will be focused first because it has a 1 value, lowest positive value. After that, button 2 will be focused because it has a tab index equal to 2. Now button 1, it will be focused third as it falls into the natural DOM order. It doesn't have any tab index value, and input will be focused last because it is now following the DOM order. So this is how the tab index can override the natural DOM order. So it is necessary to define the tab index in the correct order. How to set Now we will see an example how to set focus on modal dialog heading when it opens. Because when a modal dialog opens, you may want to set the focus on the heading, H1 heading or the main heading of that dialog, so that user uh, can know the purpose of the modal. Approach will be use tab index equal to -1 to keep the static text out of the tab order and apply focus conditionally to enforce a one-time behavior. Now in the next slide we will see it with example. So when a model opens, you may want to set focus on a main heading text to let the screen reader user know about the purpose of the model, following in the example of implementation. For example, here we have a heading defined with h1. So h1 tag id equal to static text, tab index we have given -1, and this is the text. So tab index equal to -1 will make sure that this heading doesn't fall into the natural tab order. But still we can set the focus on it using the script. Now we have another field below that, that is input field, type equal to text, placeholder is the next field. Now we have used here uh, const text element equal to document dot get element by id, which is static text of h1, text element dot focus function. So it will make sure that when that model opens, the focus will be set on the h1 heading for one time. And when you start tabbing after that, it will go to the next interactive element. And this heading will not fall into the natural tab order, only it will get focused one time when the model opens. To explain it further how it works, tab index equal to -1, it ensures that the static text cannot be focused by pressing the tab key, keeping it out of the natural navigation flow. However, it can still be focused via JavaScript. And focus, which it programmatically sets focus on the element when the condition is met. Conclusion: TabIndex enhances accessibility and usability in web development. Though keep it simple, test thoroughly, and prioritize the user needs. So this is what I wanted to share in this slide on TabIndex. Let me know in the comment section if you like this video, or let me know the topic that where you want to see the upcoming videos. Till then, goodbye and thank you.